Fran.
We are
Okay,
live
good
now. Yes,
deal.
it's alive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday WHAM. I am not the regular host, but as I'm learning information late. Carlos, is the video up in the top right? Is that what the folks see live?
It should be. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so you all can see I got some sun today. I know I told Tim and the guys last night they were making fun. They had a contest to name their show, and I like the one that Tim had put up on the stream. I think it was like that Wednesday or no a Silverline show on Tuesday or something like that. And I'm like, I kind of like that. It's kind of catchy, quirky. And so I think they decided that's what they'd go with. And so then they said, I want a car. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that there was a contest for a car. What are we doing? And I said, I actually am going car shopping. And so that's where my van died on me, literally died.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the lane at Chick-fil-A. I had just got my food and my van died. And so if you've been to Chick-fil-A, you know there's like a bazillion people in line, right? And so so there were a bazillion people behind me, and I'm like, oh no, my because I had gotten my food, I'm at the window, right? And so I'm like, oh man, what do I do now? So I was able to crank it up and kind of floor it, and I kind of peeled out of
Dirty
the drive
rubber at the Chick-fil-A. That's kind of lame, Roland.
That's epic.
So, but then it died in the I basically got it to the next parking lot and it died. Actually, I'm playing with some stuff today. I got me an extender for my earbuds because I've been wanting to use my earbuds, but I couldn't. They wouldn't reach from my computer because it's on a shelf way up there. And so this is kind of nice to actually be able to use these instead of my headphones today. But so
Roland,
anyway,
you want to hear something worse than your car dying at a Chick-fil-A?
Oh, what's that?
The week before Memorial Day, my car died. 197,000 miles. Completely died. Would not turn over. Had it towed to the... Oh, no. I tried to take it to Firestone. Died in the parking lot. Had to push it to the Firestone. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. Had it towed to the dealer. They took a look at it. Wound up being there a week and a half. Timing chain. Did engine work. And it costs $2,600 to fix. Almost 200,000 miles on this, but I was like, I got a 16-year-old kid. He's going to be learning to drive. He didn't yet because of COVID. You know, it'd be nice for him to learn on, a car that we know. I picked it up. And 152 miles later, guess what's dead?
Your car again.
My car. Week and a half ago, out on Friday, was going to go out to dinner with my girlfriend and friends, and I'm 3 minutes away. I was only 7 minutes late, pretty good. I was 3 minutes away, and my car died. And now they're like, "Oh yeah, you need a new engine." I'm like, if you people had told me that in the first place,
right,
I would have given you $2,600 already. So
I know that.
So if anybody wants to help my car fund, you can send it to P.O. But But yeah, so I feel your pain, my friend.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be a short story. We'll probably be able to stretch this out for an hour. So for those of you who are tuning in for the usual clown of gaggle of clowns on Wednesday, I am sorry.
Gaggle Day.
I'm getting some really robotic
That
stuff.
was weird.
That was
really
weird.
That was weird.
I'm still hearing it. I don't know where it's coming from, though.
Something saying that was weird?
Yeah. Anyway, so this was kind of last minute for me. I went to look on YouTube because I was good. I'm still working on the Kickstarter fulfillment, trying to package up stuff and get it out. And I went to turn on YouTube just so I could kind of, keep it on while I was packaging. And, there was nothing there. I'm like, well, what's going on? So I popped on here, and I'm like, there's nobody on. What the heck? So I jumped on and find John hanging out with Carlos.
And one of our compatriots will be returning.
Okay. Who's that?
The Ink Master himself.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So I'm kind of I don't have my usual list of stuff, so let me see if I can go kind of through my mental list. First, Shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con coming in September. Make your plans. There's going to be a gaggle of us there this year, so make your plans to be there. You'll get some cool Silverline stuff. Daytona Beach Comic Con, I argue, is one of the coolest comic conventions in a pure comic convention in our area. There's a big show that everybody likes to go to here in Orlando. Oh, are you going to the big show? And my problem with the big show is that there aren't very many comic books there. Okay, yeah, they've got a list of comic book creators, but if you're looking for comics,
they wouldn't find the long boxes necessarily that
No.
like the ones behind you.
no, they're so don't get me wrong. There's some there, but the last time I went to MegaCon, I think the guy who runs Daytona Beach was there, and another guy was there with comic book long boxes, and that was pretty much it. At Daytona Beach Comic Con, you're going to find table after table after table after table of long boxes. There'll be some people there with cheap boxes, which is my favorite place to shop. So Daytona Beach Comic Con, make your plans to be there. Also, History Camp. History Camp is coming up. I don't have the dates in front of me. As I said, you can find them. We've talked about it here, but History Camp's coming up. They're all about history. It's up in Pennsylvania or New York, somewhere way up north from me. And so make your plans to be there. They were a sponsor because they love what we're doing with Steam Patriots. Kickstarter update for Steam Patriots and Divinity. Those books have started going out. In fact, I think if I were to check my pirate ship, I think there's a couple of people who've already received their packages before I actually even have made the announcement on Kickstarter that those are coming. So I was going to try to make that announcement tonight, but the whole stream kind of is catching me by surprise. And I still may try to get on there and do that, but I'm packaging up packages still. We had probably 30 go out today. I'd like to get another 30 out tomorrow, and that kind of thing until they're all done. So if you are a supporter of the Steam Patriots #1 and Divinity #2 Kickstarter, they're on the way. Fulfillment is happening. It's working. It's going. Okay, let's see. So I am not the regular host. I am Roland Mann. I am the chief cook and bottle washer at Silverline. If you've seen any of our Kickstarter videos, you know that's kind of what I let you know. But I write a bunch of stuff. I edit some stuff for Silverline. You've probably seen me do Trumps and Cat and Mouse. And for this upcoming Kickstarter, I will be writing both of the titles. I will write. I'll wait for the announcement there. We'll get the introductions done. Next on my screen is John. John, tell people who you are.
Hey everybody, John Medic, most known for writing the book Sniper and Rook, which Roland and I need to talk about really soon and get plans and dates and actions and all that stuff. Oh my, excited about that and excited to be here talking to y'all tonight.
I just so happen to have one right here.
And that is available at indieplanet.com. INDYPLANET.com.
That's right. Very cool. And sporting her snazzy red shirt is Roberta. Tell folks who you are.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Roby Conroy. I am the colorist right now for the upcoming Kickstarter we are going to be talking about today. So I'm very pleased to start getting that going and see how y'all like it. It's been really great. Anyway, I've been doing coloring since forever. But anyway, it is it's been a thrill. It's been a long time. But I am really happy to be here. And so hi.
And I don't think he's on the. I don't see him on the screen yet, so I don't think he's been.
He probably needs to be added in.
Yeah, he hasn't been added yet, so I'm going to wait and.
We have a surprise guest.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Silverline compatriots will be joining us shortly. How did you zoom in?
So that's as far as I can go. So I have the web camera that I have is fairly new. It's called a Nexigo, and with it came an app. I opened the app and went to the advanced options, and there is a zoom that will allow me to zoom just a little bit. See, I can even actually check this out. I can control it from here just a little bit. You see how I can pan it? So I this was an accident. I accidentally discovered this. I think I can tilt it. Yeah, let's see. Look at that. Whoop.
Oh, that actually looks good when you tilt it up. You see your Silverline banner.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'll leave it like that then. I don't know what the roll is, but it won't let me do the roll. So, so yeah, it's something I accidentally discovered when I was trying to, because I felt like I was too far back, and everybody else was, was up pretty close to the camera, and I'm like, how can I get a little bit closer? So, okay, so let's see. I went through. We made introductions. We talked about our sponsors. What? Oh, you guys help me out. A Kickstarter update. Have I forgotten anything?
You're gonna do the other Kickstarter towards
Yes.
the end. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So you got that. You talked about our wonderful sponsors, who we appreciate very much.
Absolutely.
And I think that you got the foundation for the night started. Yes.
Okay. Very
Absolutely.
cool. John, I heard you actually talk about something that you never responded to me about. I sent you an email and you never responded to me.
Which one was it? I'm sorry.
Well, about your new role.
Okay. So
I heard you talk. I can't remember if you talked about it last week or week before, but I did hear you talk about it.
The last time I was on, yeah. I came in. It was a little bit later. Tuesdays have kind of been dicey with work, getting here on time, and I came in the
Today's
conversation.
Wednesday, by the way.
Oh, I'll see you guys next week. No, just joking.
You said Tuesday.
Yeah, to me it is Tuesday because the 4th of July holiday observed. I am so off on everything. Oh my God, I haven't told you about this yet. Let me tell you about my car. No, but anyway, yeah, I came in the middle of a conversation where they were talking about, the characters, from Divinity and Cat and Mouse, and, they conceptually could run into each other at some point, and, there could be diverging, possibly storylines, and I'm like, oh, hey guys, I'm on tonight, and by the way, Roland gave me a new title because I'm like not really editing stuff like I was supposed to because I suck, but he knew that I'd be awesome for continuity editor, and so that's how that came up.
And that's true. I believe that.
Which
and that's
part, that I haven't been editing like I should have? Or?
Well, no, that part too, but no, that I think you would be awesome. Oh, there's Tommy. So before we get over to Tommy, I want to make sure I finish this because I want you to hear this, John, is I do believe, and this I think this is perfect for you because I do believe that a continuity editor is perfect for you because, dude, you remember stuff about my own work.
Yes.
That I don't remember.
I cannot tell you how honored, because I've known you now like 28 years, maybe a little bit. Actually, it's probably closer to 30. It's probably closer to 30. No kidding. And many times over the years, you've come and asked me questions, knowing that I would know the answer.
Yes.
From the business to the titles to dialogue, and it is so. I'm so honored when you've done that. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Because, like you said, I'm, always been Silverline's #1 fan. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'm being very genuine when I say I think it's perfect for you. I think it's the perfect thing for you to do. Fits your strengths and who you are and what you can do. So I think it's a perfect thing for you. Yeah. And I just see. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing messages here. No, Tommy, we don't want you to leave. Stay here. So, Tommy, introduce yourself. I'll get back to Blowing
What's his
Sugars
name?
and John in a minute. Tommy, introduce yourself.
Hey, Tommy.
Can you hear me? Am I working?
Hello.
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you.
I don't know if I'm here. I might be.
Can you not hear us?
Yes. No, it's just weird. I don't know what was going on. Thomas Flormonti Jr. Been doing comics from early '90s. A lot of stuff with Roland. back in the early Silverline stuff, but then also with worked with Roland a lot of stuff on the Malibu Ultraverse, Malibu Comics stuff, just all kinds of things there. I've done some stuff for Marvel. I've done stuff for pretty much everybody. Um, we finished the Trumps book 1 and 2 several. It seems like it was several months ago, but golly, it's been a year now, right? And
coming up on it, yeah.
Yeah. And so we got the new thing that we're going to talk about. I'm guessing
Yes.
for sort of, so I came under the something that
Yes.
Roberta and I and
Yes.
and Mr. Pete is and Rowan is working
Yeah.
on. We'll talk about that a little bit. And tonight I'll be showing some artwork on the Rejects books, the one that I'm now that I'm finished inking the first issue of the Secret Project. I'm going to start working on the Rejects book, and then whatever else Roland wants me to start working on next is what I will be doing next. And golly, I'm the co-owner of Kablam Digital Printing, and I also do all my Inferno Studios, Kid Hero, Zomboid, Little Nays, So, all that Kid Hero stuff that I like to do. So.
Yeah, and Tommy actually, this is a tease, Tommy. I'm not going to reveal anything, but Tommy actually talked to me the other day about an idea he had that he wants to do that is right up his ballpark, and I'm like, dude, that is so cool. You got to make that happen. So,
which one? The okay, I'm not sure which.
So many pitches that he can't even.
Is it the thing or the other thing or the thing I'm not talking about right now?
It's the thing that you talked to me about that you said you wanted
not
to
the
pitch.
Story idea, but the story idea or the actual the art idea.
The art idea.
Yeah. Now
I don't know the story idea, so I
know we got. I didn't. No, it don't. It's really cool. If Silverline doesn't want to do it, I'm doing it anyway. So.
No, because you haven't talked to me about that yet. But you told me the
no.
That's really cool.
No, the story idea is just something just real funny, one shot kind of thing that would be kind of cool to do. But no, the art stuff would be really cool, more in line with my Kid Hero stuff.
Yes. Yeah. That's that's very cool. So I'm excited that that'll be something that we'll talk about a little bit down the road. I know that folks listening are going, just spill it already. You guys got to stop this.
We don't know what we're talking about. No. Making it up as we go.
So I was singing John's praises, and so I want to continue to do that because it's relevant. Well, this is what I'm about to say is relevant about the project that Pete and Tommy and Roberta all worked on, the Silverline team up that we've been working on. You've been seeing Roberta color, Tommy do some inks, and Pete do pencils on. When I was working on this, literally I asked John, because I came upon, I started to use something. I said, wait a minute, I think I've used his wife before. And so I emailed John and he says, oh yes, absolutely. And he names basically chapter verse, right? Issue, panel, page and panel, even sends me the panels and said, here's everything that she's been in. And I'm like, okay, cool. That makes things really easy for me, right? And then I also asked about, Champion's wife, and I actually asked about Champion's kid. And those are two different emails to John. And both times, his response to me was chapter verse. Here's where it is, and sent me, images of the panels in question. So yeah, John, that's going back to why I say it's perfect for you. I mean,
Thank you.
It is your strength. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the possibilities. That we are, building this the Silverline world here.
And you know how I've always been about that like Silverline Central, basically, because Silverline is very similar to some other big 390s publishers in the sense that, we publish great books that aren't necessarily in a shared continuity, but we also do have books that make up a shared continuity. So,
Yes.
you know, we are the best of both worlds on that. So that shared continuity is really where I
Yeah.
love to play.
Yeah.
You know, so sorry for not responding to the email. I'm always,
It's okay.
I have too many email accounts.
Yeah.
It's crazy for me to keep up. If you ever need me, send me a text. And if you
Okay.
had sent me an email, just text me, say email now. And then I'll go now email then.
Okay.
So text is the best way to get a hold of me. So that's just
We-
for Roland, not everybody online. Just, you know, I
Okay.
haven't got so much
So-
bandwidth.
So what was your text number again?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
867-5309.
I got it.
I got your number on the line, yeah. Yeah, so it looks like we got somebody else trying to come in here. So yeah, anyway, John, I'm excited about that, and I figure you and I do need to kind of talk about
Yeah. I need to get on that calendar because I got planned.
Yeah, it's cool. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the calendar talk, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm more than ready to go.
Very cool. Yeah. So what else be going on, guys?
Did I tell you about my car?
You did tell me about your car. Yeah. Now, so is it a stick or is it automatic?
It's auto. 2013 Hyundai Elantra that's almost 9 years old. I mean, it's given me a good life. I mean, for God's sake,
Yeah.
and I'm really not complaining, except for the 2600.
Well, I still drive a 98 Chevy truck, and the van that died was a 2008 Chrysler. So we've been talking. It's time. But Brett went out looking with us today, and he spotted a Mustang, really sweet looking car.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
And I'm like, oh, is this for you? He goes, it's stick. I can't drive a stick. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't drive a stick? And then words out of his mouth, he says, you never taught me to drive a stick. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, ow.
You know, I'm surprised that other than like some trucks and that kind of stuff, that they even make sticks, the stick, you know, manual versions anymore.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's part of what it is ever since Brett's been around, I haven't had a stick. You know, we've had. I mean, the last stick I had was I was in college. Oh
Yeah.
no, actually moved to. I did move to Malibu with
Mhm.
You drove cross country with a manual transmission.
I did.
Oh,
I sure did. I left that car out there.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I drove it until it died. Haley, I don't know if you can hear us, but I know that Carlos is gonna be working on getting you in. So I'm going to assume that she can hear us, but we just can't hear her yet. So, but I know that she's not on the screen, so I'm seeing there. Okay.
She just I can hear you. I don't know how to turn on my mic and camera. Down at the bottom, Haley, at the very bottom of your screen, you'll have a bunch of little menu of stuff. Maybe you can, and then you can. I think you can. Oh no! I just turned mine off. That was. Oh, under settings of the menu across the bottom, Haley. Under settings, you can pick like which device that you're. You know, which is the microphone, which is the camera.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if because you guys are hearing me, so yeah, I'm using the everything's correct. So, okay, so you know, I did forget to shout out. Although I mentioned him earlier, I did forget to shout out to Carlos. Carlos, type in the name of it's Armor. Type the name in here, so so I can give you a proper shout out. So we do have Carlos is our new producer. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat, and he is behind the scenes. We had a nice introduction of him. I guess it was Sunday last. So we talked about him, what he wanted to do. But he made it clear to me. He's like, dude, I'm not the guy on the camera. He goes, I'm you know, what is it they always say in in these TV shows? You know, I'm the dude in the chair, right? And that's what Carlos was telling me. He said, no, I'm the guy behind the scenes. He says, you know, I'll be pushing the buttons, turning the knobs, and all that kind of thing. So. So anyway, yeah, okay. There's chat going on. So
Yeah.
I'm about to throw Scott Wakefield under the bus. Okay, so so I didn't realize that Scott Wakefield would not be here. Scott's the usual Wednesday WHAM host, and I did not realize that he wouldn't be here. I had actually sent him an email and asked him because I knew he was going on a walkabout with his son. Right. Long story short, his son just graduated, which is very cool. So they're going to do this really cool thing, right? Cross country kind of trek. And so I didn't know. Ooh, that looks really cool, Tommy. Oh, speaking of which, well, I'll tell you after. I swapped some messages with somebody last night that you're going to get the ink for rejects, Tommy. So
okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but let me know.
Let's put it this way. I'll say it in such a way that you can figure it out and everyone else can figure it out too. He's done several comics covers for us already, and you have inked them.
Oh, something Stevens is doing?
Yeah, yeah, something Stevens doing.
Okay, very cool. No, anytime, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be for rejects, and
I haven't talked to him since like today.
Right, yeah. You know what? It's funny because I actually talked to him last night. Well, I didn't talk to him. I swapped messages with him. Yeah. And I asked him. I said, "Hey, dude, do you have Discord by any chance?" And he goes, "I feel like my whole life was in Discord." And I'm like, that's not really what I'm asking.
They're still on like dial up out there in the woods, and
dude, he's got a cell phone, right?
Yeah, is it
cell phone? And John, aren't you on your cell phone right now? Or are you on your computer?
No, I'm on my computer. I'm on my laptop.
Okay, yeah.
The cell phone has a rotary dial on it. I don't know if you noticed that. It's not like a real cell phone.
Yeah. But anyway, he's got a cell phone, so I told him, I said, you could join with your cell phone, because I know Dean did that for a while, and I know John did.
Yep, I've done it out of a necessity before.
Yeah, you have your picture and stream and sound, everything looks really good now.
Actually, I'm plugged in. I'm not doing Wi-Fi, and I'm not going off my phone anymore. So
good for you. In. Nice, yeah.
I'll send you the bill.
Yeah. He's run a cable out, off of his laptop, out the window, into the window of his neighbor, and then he's got a long.
It's amazing the things you have access to when you just put on one of those little vests and like some little name patch, and it said Bubba. Do I look like a Bubba?
Yes, you do.
You do, actually.
It's like housekeeping, and they just let me in, and I don't know. Yeah. No FCC, it's not true. I'm joking.
Yeah. John gets a visit tomorrow. Said, "Excuse me, what are you at?" So maybe Carlos went to take a break as well. So Carlos, Tommy is screen sharing here his inking. If we can get that on the screen. Okay, good. Get that on the screen. We can share him. You can get it on. Bang a gong. And then Haley is working her way in. So yeah. So that's exciting.
Well, y'all do anything for the 4th? Y'all singing fireworks or anything?
Comforting. So just so scary for it's like a war zone over here.
Wait, that's pretty much all the time though, isn't
it? No, it's been worse in the past couple of years.
So are you saying the fireworks are really bad, or
the illegal ones are really bad. It's like they don't. The fire shows. We're in a drought, so they've been less likely to have them. So people just kind of get their own, and like every block is insane.
They were going late here on
to like 2 in the morning.
Sunday. Yeah, wow. Absolutely. And then Florida did something different this year, at least in Orange County, where before this is the stupidest thing. I shouldn't be saying this with people listening, but they did the thing when you could get like sparklers, and you could get certain kind of fireworks like what do they call the snakes, the black snakes and sparklers
yeah.
and stuff. But when you got anything that was really loud or anything that was a mortar kind of thing, you had to sign a waiver saying that you were using them for animal deterrent kind of stuff, even though they only sold them, at on the 4th of July.
Animal deterrent.
Yeah, no, like what farmers would use to scare off crows and that kind of stuff. But this year they didn't do that. But in Orange County, I think we went and bought a couple like last year. Wasn't last year, I guess, because of COVID. But the year before, we had to sign something when we bought some mortar kind of things, saying that we were only using these to scare birds from our crops.
That's funny.
Yeah, but you didn't have to do that this year. This year, you could shoot them off like everybody else. There you go. And they surely were doing it.
Yeah. That's interesting. The fireworks here, they were everywhere. It's like every other house. Haley, you might try a different browser. I know that Haley's having problems getting in.
I was told that Chrome doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, I actually might get a better picture if I jump into Firefox myself.
I'm on Chrome right now.
Okay.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, still, it wouldn't hurt maybe to try a different browser. Weren't you on like last week or week before in the same software? I think.
Who, me?
No,
Haley.
Haley. I think Haley was on. So ours was the fireworks here. It's like every other, and they had big ones. I mean, they had major fireworks, but they didn't go late. They were over with by about 10:30.
No, it was going late here.
We could stand out on our front porch and see fireworks here, fireworks behind us. I mean, it's like everyone had them, and so it was a pretty nice little fireworks show.
I think people were at the point where they just wanted to get outside and celebrate something after being locked up for a year and a half, and all the stimulus money, fireworks, literally blew the cash, on explosives. So it's good. It's good.
Went up in smoke.
Yeah. So we there was a lot of fire. I think I was surprised at how many how much fireworks there actually were. So Carlos is with New Armor Media. If you guys want to are interested in your own stream. But you're like, dude, I don't know how to do all the behind the scenes stuff, and I just want to get on and talk about cool stuff or fun stuff, whatever. Contact Carlos at New Armor Media, and they can set you up, get you taken care of. So I can see that he's moving stuff around. So Tommy, tell folks, now that we can see what's on the screen, tell folks what you're inking there.
This is page 4, 4 from Rejects. It's another story written by the great and mighty Roland Mann. Mr. C.
On me.
No, it's a great.
You like this one, huh? But you don't like the champion story.
No, man, all the stuff's great. No. This is fun. This was actually it's taken me a little bit. I was supposed to. I'm rambling on here. No, it took me a little while to figure out what all the characters were, but because I needed to jump around to get some pages done. So I jumped further into the story and ink some stuff, and it's like I don't know who anybody is, and so now I am actually figuring out who everybody is. So it's coming along pretty neat. But Mr. C. Michael is
So I have a lettered version of that. I'll send it to you. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's completely lettered. The whole book is lettered. So I'll send that to you so you'll know what's going on. Also,
Okay.
you'll know if you can skimp on some background inks, right? It's like, he's got that covered up with a balloon. I'm just gonna put it in a little scratchy there.
Yeah. So who's this guy right here? This lizard guy.
That is that's the churl. He yeah, he's the bad guy that the story opens up with, who was robbing a bank, and all the big name superhero groups were not available, so the rejects had to answer the call, and thanks to a sudden hot flash by the hot flash character, the troll is knocked out and arrested, but you'll notice on that page you see a mighty superhero, the back of the mighty superhero on panel one there, right?
Yep.
That's Majestic, and he is majestic. And he always comes in and takes credit for what the rejects have done, and so that's exactly what we're seeing going on now. Is that the fight is over, and Majestic comes in and takes credit for defeating the churl.
Let's see what we got. We got page. This is some really neat characters.
Oh yeah. C. Michael's done an awesome job.
Real cartoony. I love this kind of cartoon stuff.
And they've each got their own unique personality. Absolutely love that. Love what he's done with them. I can't remember. I counted. I remember writing the second issue, which C. Michael has, and I'm assuming that he's kind of started on it. And I had to make a list because I'm like, dadgummit, I got way too many characters in this one. I'm used to working with, two, cat and mouse, right? Or just a couple, king, queen, jack, and ace. But there was like 7 or 8 of them, and I'm like, I gotta make a list and keep up with them, because my first draft of one of the stories, I'm like, wait, what happened to this character? And I just completely forgot about him. So I had to go back in and add them in. But yeah, we may see if we can't. How can I say this? Reduce the roster by the end of the series.
You mean some people may perish?
I'm just saying we may have to reduce the roster. The Avengers did that every so often. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Avengers would go through this kind of pretty regular and say, "Hey, it's time for a new team to step up." What do you mean, Haley? You just installed Firefox? You didn't have it already on your computer? It's crashing on you. I hate to hear that. I don't know what to tell you. We need Haley to talk about the other project that.
I know, that's good.
Did you use the phone?
Probably. It's just a browser, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
It works in Safari.
Yeah.
On the iPhone.
Okay. Haley, if you can still hear, you might try that. Just to kind of get you on here and chat a little bit. We're probably not going to go too terribly much longer, Haley, just because I wasn't prepared to talk more than about 15-20 minutes about the Kickstarter, and I didn't realize that John was flying solo tonight.
Well, we had other folks around, but we didn't quite know the way that it was going to go. So we're just lucky that you came in when you did, because I was like a couple seconds away from being logged off as well. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was just talking up Carlos too much. So, and we were talking about teaching and educating and importance of great teachers to students, and that's about when you popped in.
Yeah, cool. Well, like I said, I wasn't planning on jumping in until about 9:30. I was like, I'll jump on at 9:30, and the last 30 minutes we'll talk about. But I guess we didn't really make these plans, did we, Roby?
No, we didn't make plans. I just kind of jumped in because I'm like, I'm working on it, and you're streaming. I don't get the plan. Might as well. Might as well be here. I'm coloring anyway.
Well, I guess should we might as well go ahead and announce it, don't you guys think?
Oh, it's up to you.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and
why
announce this so we can
not
talk
wait
about it
any
then.
longer?
Yeah, so you guys, if you've been following us on any of the social medias, you will have seen that we have released some images for. I know, John. You can wrinkle your
You
nose.
went from Sean Connery to Rod Serling. It was like a progression. It was worse. You know?
So,
Oh my God, help.
yeah. So you've seen images coming soon. Two books that we talked about. One of them is the Silverline Team Up, Champion and Miss Fury, and the other one you've seen is Bea, or as we've talked about on this channel, Bea, Burr. Just kind of however you want to say it. And so right now we're announcing the official launch date of this flip book is
When?
July the 15th.
Woo-hoo!
One
All
week
right.
and one day.
I got a clap.
It is, yeah, woo, yeah. It's not tomorrow Thursday, but it's Thursday week. Okay,
Okay.
so so the Kickstarter will run from July 15th to August 1st. That is about 17 days, I think, which is what we've been doing. What we've been running our Kickstarters is 17 days. So so get your money ready. It is going to be a flip book. Whoop, let me get back to my window here. It's going to be a flip book like we've done the last 3, 4, 5 of them now. And on one side, it's going to have Bear issue number 1. And on the other side, it's going to have Silverline Team Up, Champion, and Miss Fury number 1. Haley, if she can ever get on, she's having problems getting on. We'll get her on and talk about Bear a little bit. But Roberta and Tommy,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about Champion and Miss Fury. What do you guys any immediate thoughts as to what we can tell folks that they should be looking for, or anticipating, or?
I think what we should tell people is that Roberta made Pete and I look really good because we stink if it wasn't for.
You gotta be kidding.
No.
No. You give me so much to work with. It's that's how it is. You find people that make sense.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Well, I said, I think I said it on Twitter the other day, is that, I definitely feel like the front man of an all-star rock band. You guys are just, the three of you, just phenomenal. The work that's coming out of all three of you is just fantastic. I see Pete's pencils and I go, holy crap, this looks so good, right? And then Tommy inks it on me. Wow, really? It could look better than the pencils, right? And then Roberta colors it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? What happens, right? It's so good.
I'm like, it's done.
I know.
That's the best part. It's like it actually came to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's not forget who wrote the story.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. It's like somebody had to come up with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And John, thank you very much, John. You did a great job writing this thing.
I'm just the one who gets to enjoy all the work and time and effort y'all put into the book. That's kind of the best place to be, because I'm like everybody else who's going to be pledging on the Kickstarter, because I will be one of them pledging on the Kickstarter. So.
Well, and I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what's that? You got one! We got one! Yeah, woohoo! You were certainly instrumental in the formation of the story, because I asked you. There's some things that goes on with Champion here that we wanted to keep. So let me be really, really clear. You don't have to know anything about Champion to go into the story. Okay. So if you're thinking, well, I didn't see Champion when he appeared in Silverstorm or when he appeared in Cat and Mouse, that's quite okay. You don't have to have seen that. You don't have to be familiar with that to understand this story. This story starts from him and introduces him and moves forward. So you don't have to be familiar with any of that stuff. That said, if if you are familiar with that, then there's going to be things that's happening here that you're going to go, oh, that's interesting. This is a little bit different than what was originally gone on with this character. And so I say all that to say, John was the one I had to go to. I'm like, okay, what do we do here? What do we, because this is stuff that he and I had talked about 15 years ago.
The crossover stuff?
Yes.
No, not 15 years. 20.
Oh, yeah.
But two issues are completely drawn, and
Yes.
Bill, we need to get the rest of them done. I'm getting in trouble for my boss.
That's right. Bill Mouse, pay attention.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's really a connective tissue piece.
Yes. Yeah. And so anyway, so John was very, very instrumental in this in the early ons of this story, because I wanted to make sure that I wanted to tell the story in the way that you didn't have to be. I come very much from the shooter school that that I want. The stuff that I write, I want people to be able to pick it up without feeling like they have to have read 40 issues of any of my stuff before to understand what's going on, because I know that this is a way that a lot of people go, well, I didn't read any of the other stuff, so I'm just not going to buy it because I'm going to be lost, and I don't want that. And so that's very much a shooter thing. So I do very much embrace that, and so I didn't want that, but I also know that there's continuity geeks out there like me, like John, right, who's like, well, I need to make sure that this kind of fits in with what was going on in this continuity. And so I'm like, okay, John, you got to help me out here. Make sure we got this going on. And so I think that I think that we've done that. But it's exciting for me. So I'll start off talking about a little bit about the story. It's exciting for me because one of the things that I'm doing in this story is I'm bringing Champion to New Orleans. Okay. If you followed the old Cat and Mouse, you know that Champion was set in Chicago. I don't know why I set him in Chicago at the time. I really don't know why I didn't just put him in New Orleans along with, the other characters. I
can tell you why.
Okay, why?
Well, because... Well, I don't know the motivation on it, but what I can tell you is that when he first showed up in Cat and Mouse, and then he was kind of the one that everybody started to emulate because he was the Chicago champion, which was the name that rolled off the tongue more than like New Orleans champion. Chicago champion sounded great. And during the original run of Cat and Mouse, where he was showing up more and more, he was being utilized by some faux government agents that brought him down to New Orleans. Yeah. So then he was in a strange place with strange things, not quite sure as to what was going on, which was kind of all part of that story.
Sounds like it might be time for to start some of our character write-ups for the blog. So anyway, long story short is I wanted to, with Cat and Mouse and Demon, right, being set, all of them being in New Orleans, I wanted to get Champion down here on a more permanent basis, right? I've been wanting to, since I wrote the miniseries for Malibu in the early 90s, I've been wanting to revisit Miss Fury. And so she's public domain for those of you who are like, wait, Malibu, how are you doing this? No, Malibu did the Miss Fury, but Miss Fury is public domain. So what I'm doing is not the Malibu Miss Fury. It's my source material comes from the 1940s, which is public domain. But I've always wanted to kind of revisit that character, and so I'm like, well, this could be a cool way to, number one, to introduce her because I think she's a cool character, and get her into the world that we were kind of building there with kind of around Cat and Mouse, and that's how she ended up in the story, and so initially, and when I say initially, this goes back several years. Initially, it was going to be a Champion story, which is kind of how we got one of the covers that you'll see, probably not for about a week. We got one of those covers because it was going to kind of be a Champion story. But then as it morphed, I'm like, well, I don't know that let's put Miss Fury is popular now, right? She's because of the public domain. I know Dynamite did some I think rated R stuff. Ours is not going to be rated R. Ours is going to be PG-13.
Oh man, I got to go back and fix some of that art. Then I guess.
All of a sudden, Tommy's like, I quit.
Roberta fixed it in color. Don't worry.
Oh, she
Yeah,
fixed
no problem.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
You were naked, but you changed the skin tone to clothes
so
color.
It looks like spandex now, right?
Roberta.
No, just like
Alright,
t-shirts, whatever. No.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's kind of where we are in this in the story is that both Miss Fury and Champion are coming to New Orleans. This is the first issue is the one that gets them here to New Orleans and puts them in the situation. It's the introduction, right? Is if you're one of these that I know Carlos is still listening, and I know occasionally some of my students listen to these. And this is the first act, right? We're just trying to establish where we are, establish who we are, set up the goals of the characters, and introduce the conflict that you're going to get to see work out over the next couple of issues. I will say this: it started off as a 3-issue series.
Hey, that's right.
But Mr. Pete said, "Hey, I think it would be cool to draw this character." And I'm like, "Well, he's not in the story." He says, "Well, he could be in the story. You're the writer." And so I think Tommy and Roberta were like, "Yeah, that would be really cool." And so I had to go back in and retool issues 2, 3, and 4 to work in a different character, work in another character into the story, and
which is really good too, because that'll be a good way to introduce them into your into the new Silverline stuff. So that's
into the continuity, as it were. So, and I've already seen those first couple of pages because Pete's already drawn those,
and they
look so good. Yeah. So, So all right. So you guys say something. So maybe what were your first thoughts when I asked you about the project?
Well, for me, I was working on Trump's, and we were trying to figure out what I was going to do after Trump's before we started on the 3rd and 4th issue of Trump's, and we're like, we've got this. It's going to be a while before we get to the next part of Trump's. And then you showed me Pete's pencils, and I'm like, yeah, let's send it my way. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was more than happy, and it started out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was the same way. I didn't really get asked about it until there were some pencils, and I think that once you kind of have that visual to start you off, you can take it from there and just imagine it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's really
it's
the balls rolling, at that point.
So what's been? Let me toss some questions out at you. So Roberta, what's been sort of your maybe one of the highlights of coloring these pages so far? I know there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of highlights. I mean, I think
you did a red glow on one part. That
was
boo, and then there was a red fire that you did with some fire. That was kind of highlight.
Yeah, you started off with fire, so that really got my attention first off, because that's fun to try, and it's so emotional. It's such a great tool to use to drive the story, between the danger and meeting this guy. And I know you're going to laugh at me, but I was thinking, I can draw fire, and I don't really have to decide any of his costume colors until they're out. Yes. Not really.
That's
so
funny.
that was just like, oh well, I can get further along in the art before I really, cement everything down. That's kind of cool.
Because I think the page 2-3 is a double page spread.
Yeah,
That is all fire and said, yeah, it is so gorgeous.
it is.
We need to make a poster of
Yeah,
that.
we should. I love
Yeah.
it. I love how that turned out.
And I'm telling you, when you look at it, it feels hot. You know, it just that's for me. That's one of the coolest things about those first few pages is just like you look at it and you're just like, man, that just feels hot. You know, the image that we yesterday on social media was the one with him, you know, holding up the kind of that crossbeam with all, you know, all surround in the fireman's suit surrounded by all the fire, and I'm just like, man, that is a cool image.
It's so cool. Yeah, this is really a great book, great project, and I'm just really pleased how it all came together. Just great.
Yeah. I will say that from my perspective, right? And you know, keep in mind that, you know, I am on the front end of the assembly line, but you guys, you know, Pete and Tommy and Roberta, you know, it really seems to have flowed very smoothly.
Well, I mean, I can't remember if Roberta and you and I have talked about it before. I'm not sure. I think you've colored some of my Malibu.
Oh, I know I have.
Yeah. So we were kind of, you know, even if not, you know, we were still in that same, you know, the same books and all that kind of stuff. So we were already kind of. So you were, you know, your color techniques were right there with the way that I ink and stuff, and we just, I think I don't know if Pete's listening or if he's going to listen to this later. I think we lucked up with getting Pete because Pete, you know, we were able to you know, Pete gave us both something that we could then turn around a top quality looking book that just made everything about it sing. You know, once we got his pencils, and then, you know, I was able to do, you know, a really dynamic ink on it, and then your colors just made it even, you know, pop even further. It's a good quality looking book. It's going to look good, and it's going to read really well too. Thank you, John, for writing a great story.
John, remind me tonight in a message, and I'll send you the rough. What I've been doing is that after Pete penciled it, I have been basically, I lettered the whole thing in pencil form, and then when Tommy would ink them, I would go back in and I'd replace it and replace the pencil page with the ink page, and then when Roberta colored them, I would replace that page. Right, I would take the sound effects, and then because they were, you know, in black and white for the, you know, for the retro version, and then I would take those and then I would, you know, change the color, and so but I built a PDF that had the whole thing, so these guys could read it and make sure that, you know, typos and all that kind of stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, also, you know what's going on. And so what I've been doing then is just kind of replacing the pages as they get updated, and so they'll send me a message. The last time I sent one, Roberta's like, "Hey, I just uploaded page 14. Why is it not on there?" I was like, "Oh no, I don't have that one yet."
That's right.
So I see you, Brent. We got to get Carlos to add you to the stream. Your face is not on the stream yet, so you can probably see what's on the stream. I just figured this out. If you look in your top right corner, you see the screen there, so you see what folks are seeing. So as soon as he gets you added, we'll get your introductions. Right now, just sit there and look pretty like you're doing.
Roberta, are you coloring the last couple of it? Okay, so I don't know.
I have your final page is prepped, but it's not colored yet. So
I didn't know if you wanted to share any of that stuff, or did we not want to spoil?
Because those are the last. Is kind of, it's
because that's at the very end of the book is the last bit of stuff that you're coloring. I don't know if that's what because you might spoil the story.
I don't think
Everybody
that would
dies
be
in the end. Oops, I spoiled
And that takes 4 issues?
it. Everybody dying in the end?
Yeah.
They all died. Oops.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, I would love to share, but I think it would give away too much, unfortunately.
I'll
Unless
keep.
it just was real close. Yeah, I can't even close in on it because there's always some, stray part of another panel. Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Nope.
But it looks great.
Yeah, I bet it does. I bet it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm on the second to last page, Roland.
I think
Wait, I
Roland
can't
left.
hear you. I hear silence. You're muted.
Now, can you hear me now?
There you
There
are.
you are.
Okay, all right. So sorry, my wife entered and was offering me a drink, and I'm like, yes, please, and I muted the thing to there. So Carlos, squeak Brent in there. So I don't know if I need to leave him. He can hear me. So Carlos, get Brent on the camera too there. So yeah, that last page. Yeah, the last page is it looks so good. So I can't wait to see. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So as is always the case for Silverline Kickstarters, you guys can see we just said that we're a week and a day away from launch, and Roberta said she's got basically 2 pages left to do, which she'll be done easily by the end. Yep. So the books are finished. The other book, the one that Haley did not make it on here yet to talk about, and I'm not sure she'll make it on, is it's also finished. I got she actually shared in our big group chat. I just finished the last page, and I'm like, woohoo! So it's done. It has about 8 pages to be lettered. So it's not finished letters, but the art's done. Woo, Big Brent. But so as the whole point of this is the books are done. When we launch the Kickstarters, it's going to be mostly done, 95% done. The kind of thing, thank you, love, the kind of thing that will be done absolutely before the Kickstarter is over. Sometimes we get some covers and we may need to ink or finish the colors for
last minute things.
Yeah, some just but they're touch up kind of things. So there'll be some of that, but the books are done. So I know that there's a couple of guys. I'm hoping maybe Kirk Spencer will chime in. Some of the guys who support us frequently can vouch for us. We deliver when we say we're going to deliver, and a lot of that has to do with we make sure our books are done before we go to Kickstarter, and we have an absolutely fantastic working relationship with our printer. Kablam! I'm going to give them some screen time here. So, all right. So, joining us in the big face, center screen here is Brent Larson. Brent, tell everybody who you are and why you're late.
I used to always leave early, and now I guess I'm always going to be coming late. So, but the thing I was wondering was, Roland was muted for so long, but apparently he was talking to BJ about getting him a drink. He kept doing this, as in like gin and tonic, but I'd want it to be even. And tonic. In fact, I'll take it all if you can think about it. So, yeah, that was very interesting.
No, I would have been saying more gin, right?
Well, so what's going on?
Yeah, so we've been just talking about. So we were kind of surprised, or I was kind of surprised to see John kind of flying solo a little bit for the Wednesday crew. Like, hey, where is everybody, John? What'd you? And of course, then I started thinking, well, what did John say to make everybody mad? And they bailed, right?
and I think that's not true because if I really did a good job, Carlos wouldn't have been here either.
There's only so much you can say about Nicolas Cage before people are finally going to be like, I love Nicolas Cage.
And I'll be like,
Right.
I'm going to fight you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Nicolas Cage is my dad. So.
Oh, well, your dad sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, John,
Somebody's going to hire him for the first Silverline Studios movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be like, hey, John, guess what? Come on down. We want you on set. And, like, Nick Cage is going to kick the crap out of me. Yeah.
He just knows how to look crazy. I don't think he actually knows how to move physically in a crazy manner. So
he's going to be President Jefferson.
Ah, there you go. There you
go.
So we've done a lot of talking, Brent. What about how was 4th of July for you?
I was in Kentucky with my wife and the in-laws. It was fun. We did a whole lot of non-4th of July related stuff. A few days before that, we actually went to a battlefield in Perryville, Kentucky.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I fought there. I fought the Yankees there.
Did you? The War of Northern Aggression and whatnot?
That's right. I sure did. I camped out on the battlefield and fought Yankees for 2 days there.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting is it's a mass graveyard for Confederate soldiers and this big fenced-off area. And you can go in there and look at this monument. And while you're walking in there, you're like, I think I'm actually walking over the bodies of Confederate soldiers.
So
which is really disrespectful. I mean, I wouldn't do it, unless I was forced. In this case, I was forced to do the monument. So
really dangerous rabbit hole that we won't go down because, as John can tell you, I can go down this one. But little known fact, the national battlefields have national cemeteries. There are no Confederates buried in the national cemeteries. Mm-hmm. The Confederates on the battlefield parks, the Confederates are all buried in mass graves. If you want to go to Confederate cemeteries, you have to look for the local cemeteries, the cities, towns, and counties. They're the ones that after the war went and took them and then created a Confederate burial site for them. But the national, so even though the fact, and this is another true thing, even though the fact that Congress, the United States Congress, let me be clear, the United States Congress pardoned every single Confederate, right, and completely pardoned them. This is an official act of Congress.
I actually was having this conversation with somebody last night, Roland. This is crazy.
When people call the Confederates, they were just traitors and everything, I'm like, well, here's the deal. They were completely pardoned by Congress. It is an official act of Congress, and if they don't believe it, they can go look it up. Don't take my word for it. But even the fact that exists is that they're not buried. Confederate soldiers are not buried in national parks. Excuse me, they're not buried in national cemeteries. They're in mass graves in national parks. I think there are Shiloh is one of my favorite battlefields, and there's like 5 mass graves at Shiloh. A few years ago, they actually cut off the roads to because you can drive in most battlefields. You can get a tape or CD, right, and listen to a tour as you tour the battlefields. And a few years ago, when all this Confederate stuff was coming up, they cut off one of the roads that went by 2 of the mass graves in Shiloh. So if you actually want to see those now, you have to park your car and get out and walk. 500 yards or something like that. So I haven't been there since that happened, but. Yeah. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole we won't go down. But so did you enjoy Perryville, Kentucky?
I did. There's another little known. Oh, it's very pretty. Yeah. Here's another actually little known fact. Nicolas Cage, because of his work in Wind Talkers, will actually be buried in a national cemetery. So,
What? Because he stole the Constitution? What? Or Declaration of Independence? What?
as an act of Congress, because of his work on wind talkers, he will be buried in a national cemetery. So,
Oh wow! I didn't hear the whole thing. It kind of cut out. I wouldn't have made a joke.
Are you being
otherwise.
serious?
That's
no.
oh. And here I was actually gonna like show like respect. That was dumb.
I just want to mess with people. It's my nature. I'm like the scorpion on the back of the frog. Yeah. So, but
I was really believing you there. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
yeah. Perryville is very pretty. What's also pretty was my stepfather-in-law has 2 Porsches, and let us shoot them and drive them all over. So those were very pretty. Also,
way.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
It is.
What
nice.
address are they staying at?
In Kentucky.
For a friend?
Yeah, just mail it to Kentucky. I'm sure they'll get it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the unique things about Perryville, and we kind of talking about the battles, right? So Perryville had hills that literally went like this, right? And so you have to march up a hill. So you get to the top of the hill, and you can kind of see across there. But what you don't see is that 2 hills over, there's a unit there, and they drop down. So you're like, well, where are they, right? And so they literally have to come back up to the top of the hill before you can shoot at them again, before they can shoot at you. And it's and you couldn't always tell how far they were, right? Because you didn't, as you look forward, you don't necessarily always know how many ridges there are between you and them. And so it was a really unique kind of thing. This was probably 2002 or 3 that I did this. It was a long time ago, but that was one of the most interesting things I found about the doing the reenactment. There was the ridges and how you could not kind of tell the distance. So it was kind of interesting. Kentucky is a gorgeous, gorgeous state. I did some traveling in one of my jobs way back when. I did some traveling. I was a traveling salesman in Kentucky. I had Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas. I had 3 states that I covered. And Kentucky is just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Now, you're not from Kentucky, right? You're from Arizona.
Yeah, my mother-in-law settled there, met her husband, and they live there now. And he had a cattle farm, and now they have a nice lake house, and we just go hang out with them for the 4th of July, and we go hang out with them for Thanksgiving.
And ride their Porsches.
Yeah. Most people go to Kentucky to ride horses.
Yeah, I wouldn't be one of those people. I'm too citified.
Brent's like, oh wait, you said horses, not Porsches.
Yeah. I'm not a country boy. Country roads take me back home to the city. That's basically what I'm saying.
I gotta send you this cartoon then. You've probably seen Swing Shift Cinderella or. What is it? What's the country Cinderella? Oh, come on, y'all help me out. It's Tex Avery. You guys got to be familiar with Tex Avery.
Are you talking about the one with the 2 wolves? The city one and the country one?
Yeah. All right. So, you know what? Here, I'm having a problem with my my browser. So we do have some comments. Quentin Bedwell says, "I love it, Tommy. I know you have multiple pages open, working on them all simultaneously."
Yes, I do.
Fruitbat36 says, "You got to show something. One panel." Fruitbat, you got to be talking about the color for Champ Fury. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
you can do a sneak peek.
Yeah,
peek.
so
here you go. Got something. I can do something.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna have to give. So when you share, Roberta, you're gonna have to give Carlos a little time to get you back up on the screen. And so pick out a good one. And Fruitbat will get that shared with you. I think I
can't share much.
No, particularly right there at the end, right?
Well, go back a page or so.
Yeah. True.
So my Firefox is not letting me close tabs, which is weird. And I can't close the whole thing because that would close me out of this.
You know, that's exactly how Skynet started.
Yeah, Fruitbat thumbs
Here we
up.
go.
Yes, he
It's
wants to
like
see.
no browser tab closed for you, and it went to world domination in like a week.
So is this giving away too much? You got the tech suits.
No, that's perfect right
That's
there.
cool,
That's a great
right?
page. Yeah, that's a
I
great
love
page
that
to show. So hang on, Fruitbat. It's coming. Carlos is he's pumping in the internet over at his house there, right? So he's getting it in. And so
yeah,
look
these
at that.
guys are just jumping off the roof,
Yeah,
which is cool.
that was a gorgeous page.
Oh, cool! I didn't know what you were going to do with those buildings back there. That's neat.
Trying to come up with a
so you guys hear this live? This is the first time. Oh, that's nice. This is the first time Tommy's seeing it. Me too. But
and look who's on the corner there.
Yeah. I know that
Who's
you
that?
put them in the folder. So
Who's that?
Who's peeking around the corner?
yeah, who is that in the background? See, I love that.
That's
Fantastic.
really fun.
It's really sharp.
Yeah.
So we got some drama. It's just really good colors. You know, this really cool scene of these people coming down in a huge, surprise for everyone on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And they bounding all over the city, and so
the guy in the bottom left by the girl in the big dress. Kind of, if you'll zoom, I can give you a sneak peek. Did I just slip my sneak peek at what he's going to say? As they run by, he says, "I do declare."
He does not.
And I think somebody else. This is a private party. And he says, yeah. So no, this is a fantastic page. Let me see if Fruitbat
I love
saw
the
it here.
spilled drink too. That's fun.
Yeah.
He knocks this guy's drink out of his hand.
He says, "How does that give anything away?" This is not the page.
That's as much as I can give away.
It's the other page that we're like, no, you can't show that page. This is not the page that we were talking about, because that page would give stuff away.
Yeah, this page I think is safe enough that it's just a splash page for fun, and you look at these guys, and that's just a sneak of where the story's going, but it's not fully there. So that's all we can do. Anyway. I do have to run though, so I'm glad I can share.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
Thank
Same
you
here.
for having me on.
Roberta.
And before you go, who is this little person in the background that keeps sneaking around?
Oh, I see now.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Who's this little sneaky person back there?
It might be someone we know.
Who is that? Hi. Yeah, that's right. You know, Roberta's got on earbuds. They can't hear.
Oh, okay.
We're yelling.
I know. We were trying to get by, Roberta. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Page
welcome.
looks fantastic. Pages.
Thanks so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Carlos, can you put Tommy back up? Let me get back to these questions here. Fruitbat says, "See cliffhanger." Curtis, what's up, Curtis? This is why that page looks great, Roberta. Silverline team up is going to be awesome. I agree with you, Curtis. I think it's going to be fantastic. Stephen Brown says the guy in the blue suit looks like his arms are too long. Oh, yes. I just already out. Fruitbat 36, I know, but she still thought it might. What city does it take place in? And he says, thank you for sharing the page. You're absolutely welcome, Fruitbat. You are greatly appreciated, sir, and valued. Oops, how did I know it was a sir? The city it takes place in. So the overwhelming majority of the story is going to take place in New Orleans, but Champion does start off in Chicago, which is where he is situated. But he will be in the process of moving to New Orleans. I'm going to the part of it's in the story, so it's not really giving too much away. But yeah, I am going to move him down there permanently, so that he can be, so that I don't have, part of it is, okay, as a writer, I can't keep, oh, what am I gonna think of this time to get him down to New Orleans? I can't keep coming up with all these reasons to get him down to New Orleans. So,
And also, you have to come up with different ways that you have this guy that's able to pay for all these flights. I mean, because if he's going back and forth and forth and back, and he might be getting flight mileage out of it, but still, that's just a lot of money. Then you have to have the backstory about the job, and maybe he has to have a second job to be able to afford. It's big. It's a lot of thinking.
Yeah, so there is some of that that's in the story, as to what it is. One of the things that gets him to New Orleans this time is that he actually gets some help. And so I'm going to introduce another character that hopefully will become a kind of a regular character, but this character is going to be part of Champ's support crew, and hopefully maybe even play a bigger role in the Silverline world as it grows. And Frubat says, so is New Orleans kind of like the core of your universe? Yes, it is. It is kind of the core. Long story short, a lot of people always ask me why New Orleans. I'm a Mississippi boy. I grew up in Mississippi, and as a kid reading comic books, all of the superheroes, all of the worlds were set in New York or Metropolis, which we knew was New York. You had Central City, which was supposed to be Chicago. And they say Gotham was also supposed to be Chicago, whatever. But those were always big cities up north, and there was never any. And this is before I was aware of some of the independent comics in the '80s that were set in the South. But even one of my favorite indie comics, The Elementals, was set up in Philadelphia. And so when I had the opportunity, I'm like, well, I don't want to set all of my characters up north. I want to bring them down south. Tommy, you've disappeared from the. Tommy has disappeared from the stream. Carlos, can you get him back up there? And so I said, well, what am I? Where do I bring them? And so because I'm from Mississippi, I'm like, well, I want to bring them to Mississippi. But as much as I love Mississippi, and back me up on this, Tommy, we just don't have a whole lot of cool cities, right? I mean, we've got lots of cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, but superheroes need cities and crime. And so my first thought was Memphis, which is the city of my birth. But I'm like, New Orleans is cooler than Memphis, and New Orleans has got this the jazz, the history, and just the mausoleums. And I'm like, there's so much coolness in New Orleans. And I said, so I think I want to go to New Orleans. And so my first couple of stories were set down there. And because I love the character, the character of the city, because it really can kind of function as a character a lot of times. I just kind of kept them down there, and every time something was new, I would say, well, I want them to be here. So New Orleans was kind of my default. Yeah, it also has a port, absolutely. So the port means warehouses, right? And the river there, which you can go upriver into the heart of the nation, or you can go downriver out into the into the Gulf. Fruitbat says he needs a hero who can fly that can carry him. Well, funny you mention that. Not in this story, but we have Silver Dollar and Tempest who did a little bit of that. It's a good pick. Thank you, Fruitbat. I appreciate that. Yeah, and foreigners. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we had. The first Cat and Mouse volume was the Yakuza down there. And a lot of people used to say, well, the Yakuza in New Orleans. Well, it's actually really very true. The Vietnamese probably have the strongest of the mobs down in New Orleans, but I don't know much about Vietnamese names and culture. It's a lot easier, and of course, you got to think, well. But I'm thinking about writing and entertaining and that kind of thing. It's like, well, it's a lot easier to produce, or to pronounce a name like Koji or Kanoichi than Ng Ning, which is a lot of Vietnamese names are can be difficult for Americans to pronounce. So research, yes, I know research, but I already know a lot about the Japanese cultures, and I enjoy it a lot. So that's probably why I went there. Stephen Brown says my comic's almost done, and I think I might put it on Indiegogo. Stephen, you've heard us say this multiple times. Do it. You need to do it. This is a very good time for independent comics. We could probably go on at length about how sucky Marvel and DC are right now. The truth of the matter is, they're selling. Both Marvel and DC are selling at an all-time historical low. Meaning, and this is not a judgment thing, right? This is kind of a factual thing. Is that they're literally. They have never sold this low before in the history of their comics. Yeah, I do see it now, Carlos. Thank you. It does look good. Say what you want about Marvel and DC. Like I said, we could probably go off on that on a long time, but they're not selling well. They're selling poorly. But independent comics are doing pretty well. So if you've got your book done, I would say, yeah, go to Indiegogo, go to Kickstarter. Do both. We don't do both, and mostly just because I run out of time. I run out of hours in my day. And Fruitbat gives I don't know if you give a thumbs up to me or to Steven. But it says, yeah, you now have the opportunity to step up and take the market. I agree with that absolutely 100%. Is that this is the time for independents to step up, and I think not to toot our own horn too much, but I think Silverline has done an awesome job of stepping up this past year and producing some content that producing it and getting it out. And I think that's one of the for me, that's one of the important things that we're doing, is that we're not just saying, hey, we're making this book. It's like, no, hey, we've made this book, now here it is. And so for me, that's exciting. Okay, I talked a whole bunch right then, answering all those questions. Somebody else jump in while I wet my whistle. That was your cue to talk.
Yeah,
Tommy, your microphone is muted. You can't. Let's see. I can't unmute you, but your microphone is muted, Tommy. I can see on my little screen it says mute. So, can you hear us, Tommy? Okay, you can hear us, but we just can't hear you. Yeah. I don't know what we can hear you earlier just fine. Yeah. So while you figure it out, Brent, you were about to say.
I was about to say nothing of interest.
So, speaking of books that are done, and while Tommy works this out, Kalis, I could click on it, but I'm afraid to click away from too many windows. 3 is done, right? We could print 3 right now. Mm-hmm. 4, if I'm not mistaken, is in the hands of Mike Belcher to letter. Isn't that right? Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So I think 3 is done. 4, the artwork is done on 4. I think we probably need to maybe probably look at the cover situation, but I think probably Kalis is next up for us, isn't it? After champion Silverline team up and Bear, which I haven't talked about at all yet because I kept thinking Haley was going to show up, but yeah. Huh, what? Yeah, there you are. I can hear
there
you.
you are.
I hope that's not a. I hope that's not a bad sign. So okay, yeah. All right. So Fruit Bat, I see your questions, and I will get back to them because I like the questions. Um, But I will tell you about Bear. And unfortunately, I didn't because I thought Haley would be here to show some images, so I didn't have any prepared. You've been seeing some hopefully drop on social media. You'll see some more drop as well. But Bear, here's the story of Bear. Bear is a story of so inspired by projects like Winnie the Pooh and Toy Story. Bear is the story of a group of toys whose kid is gone. And when I say gone, the toys believe the kid is dead. Only Bear believes the kid is alive and has been told. The kid has told. He says Bear says that the kid told him he's coming back. They're just moving to the big house, and that he has supposed. Bear's task is to tell all the other toys to get ready because he's coming to get them in order to take them to the big house. It's illustrated completely by Haley Martin, who you guys have seen here on regular on the Wednesday WHAM, and I think she's done a bunch of art regularly on the Wednesday show. It is completely done. Haley did all the penciling, inking, and coloring, so she did all of it. The only thing that I did was provide her with a script, and she has done a fantastic job of doing the artwork for it. So if you follow Silverline, one of the things that hopefully you've noticed is that we're not cookie cutter in the stuff that we do, right? It's part of our tagline is that we're a genre spanning independent comic and graphic novel maker. And genre spanning is something that is true. It's not. I love superheroes, right? So don't get me wrong. But I also like science fiction, and then we've got, which is I would say Kalis falls into the science fiction realm. Steam Patriots falls into alternate history. I don't know if that's how Scott's trying to classify it or not, but it's clearly alternate history. Tim TK, AJ working on Wolf Hunter, which would also be alternate history. Of course, Silverline Team Up is a superhero. Bear is, I would say, is probably a fantasy, but not fantasy with orcs and dwarves and elves. But maybe a fantastical. What was that called? Fantastical realism, fantasy realism, something like that. Anyway, so it's going to be something a little different. What's that? What is it called, Brett?
Is it mystical realism? What's it called?
Mystical realism. I'm not real sure. So here's some questions here. You guys you're gonna help me out here. So Stephen Brown says Marvel and DC
magical.
It's their writers and artists. Okay, I'm not sure. We're talking about how poorly their sales are. I don't blame the writers and artists as much as I blame the editors because the editors have the power to fire and hire.
What editors?
Well, that's the problem. I don't think they've got anyone in charge who knows what they're doing.
No.
I think they need another Jim Shooter to come along, and I just don't think that they've got that where they are. Unfortunately, for those of you who love Marvel and DC, I stopped buying Marvel and DC. So if you're going to talk about what's going on the last, and people do sometimes, oh well, I've been reading this last few years and it's really good. It may be. I don't know. I can't address that fact, but I can just what I can just say is that anytime I've tried to read them in the last decade, is that they've not been very good. So here's the question I like Fruitbat asks. So Fruitbat says, how many books on the go? So, you guys, independent of me, you guys come up with a list. What all books? What are all the titles that Silverline is working on right now? And go.
Well, I can tell you which ones that we've been printing. So,
Okay.
We got Fire and Rush, of course. There's the Team Beetle. There's we got Kalis. There's Barb's book. I'm just drawing a blank.
Okay.
Cat and Mouse. Divinity, Cat and Mouse. That's one of your things. In the works, we got Cape Town is in the works. We got Silver Blade, which I'm supposed to be working with Dean on when we get to jamming on that. We got Rejects here. We've got we talked about Tim's book. And then Steam Patriot. We got that's 5, right? That's Burr.
So that's 10. I'm going to new hands, right?
Yeah,
I got 5 on my end.
We got Sniper and Rook. We got I know we're the not She Devil, White Devil. I was gonna say She Devil. That's not She Devil. It's White Devil. What else we got? There's some more. I know. I'm thinking.
You haven't even mentioned one that we're about to kickstart.
Oh well, I thought we weren't including that one. The Champion Miss Fury.
Champion Miss Fury, yeah.
I like to call it Champ Fury.
Champ Fury.
And because I can't think of how to pronounce it properly, so that's what's stuck in my head. Well, Trumps, I guess we put that on the list. What else is there?
I've got 2 more that you need to know, and a third one that I would give you a pass for not knowing.
I think that's all the ones that I know that we printed. Did I miss
one more that you printed?
That we printed? Oh, yeah.
I know which one you're.
What is it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you including Tiny?
Oh
no, I wasn't including Tiny, so we can include that one. But
yep.
Yeah. That's not the one I was talking about, though. But you actually did print it.
What about your book that I don't think you put in the Silverline thing, but you're going to change the name of it? Mannequin, yeah. But that's not. Were you counting that one?
No, I wasn't talking about that one either. I'm actually thinking about using that one as a stretch goal for what we're doing. Just basically say, hey, if we can get to this, everybody at the print level gets one of these.
Yep.
It starts with a T.
What's the Conan book?
No. So I would not count some of the classic stuff, right? I know that we're going to kind of remix those, but I wasn't counting that one. Twilight Graham.
Oh, Twilight! I didn't say that. I thought I said that. No, I guess not.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Twilight Graham. Yep.
And then there's Curtis. Shadow
Ghost.
Oh
yeah, that's right. His new thing. Oh yeah, that's right. And then Aaron's new book that he's working on.
That's the one I was going to give you a pass on. Yeah.
Yep. I can't. I know the name of it. I can't think of it.
It's the Obsoletes.
The Obsoletes. I knew that.
The Obsoletes. Yeah.
Oh, and then you got
Quentin
Quentin's thing
McKenzie.
that he's
Yeah.
working on that we no, see, I can't name that one because we've come up with 1,000
No,
different names
right.
for it,
Yeah.
so we don't know the name of
But
it.
if you said Quentin and McKenzie's book, then you're okay with that one. So I ran out of fingers, but I think that was about 15 or 16.
Lots
Wow.
of good stuff.
Yeah. So so let me get back to that. How many books on the go? So Fruit Bat, you're talking about 15 books that we're working on. He goes, whoa, okay, now you got to promo the heck out of this stuff on your site. Yeah, uh, yeah, so he's like looking at the site. I had no clue you had this much stuff. You're right, and one of the things on my list to try to do this week was to actually look at updating the website, maybe even using a new template to see if I couldn't find a way to get more. Because currently on our website, it only allows me to do 3 things across the top, and I don't like that. I want to have the option to add or subtract whatever whatever we're doing. Partly because I can't, I don't, I need something that I don't have to update as often. And that I can put stuff up there and kind of leave it, and it still be relevant. So you're right. I do need to update that, and that is one of the things on my list. Of course, there was Kickstarter fulfillment, Kickstarter finishing the new one, and then I got to finish writing this one other new thing here for Haley, and then it was the website. So so Fruit Bat, if you figured out how to clone, let me know. I need, or if you figured out how, as Dr. Horrible says, stop time, that would be good. Yeah, he says I had no clue you got this much stuff. Yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff. It's exciting. Whoa, wait, you do web? Oh, Fruit Bat, that's dangerous for you to tell me. That is very dangerous for you to tell me that. Ask these guys here. I find out stuff, and that's just very dangerous for you to tell me this. If this is something you're interested in, drop me a line. And I'm being serious. So here's part of what. Let me go to further explanation about. Yeah, it is a lot of projects that we have going on. Ultimately, and I know I've got some friends who tell me, don't do it, that it's not worth doing. But ultimately, we do want to take our comics to the comic shops, right? We know that there's, yeah, I see Carlos mentioned Trump's here, Tommy. There's a lot of places that don't consider you legitimate until you're actually in comic shops. Now, we can debate that, whether that's accurate or not. I don't believe that to be the case. But for instance, there's this one show that I've talked to that I would like to do, and super nice guy who runs the show, right? So I'm not trying to badmouth the show at all, and I'm not even going to mention it because I like the show. And I said something to him about, hey, I'd love to be a guest up there. He said, how long? And he was a big supporter of Cat and Mouse back in the day, and my work at Malibu. And he said, how long has it been since you've been in the catalog? And I said, it's been 20 years. And he just flat told me, he said, get in the catalog again. And he goes, and I'll get you invited as a guest. And so there are some who still view that as this is what makes you a legitimate publisher. And so I get it. I fully understand. But for me personally, I'm not willing to go solicit an issue number 1 and then wait 3 or 4 months for number 2, and then wait another 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months before number 3. So I want to make sure that once we go to comic shops, that number 1, Silverline has something in the catalog every single month. My plan at this point in time is the first 2 books are going to be Cat and Mouse and Kalis. So we'll solicit cat and mouse number 1, and then the very next month, number 2, number 3, number 4. We'll boom, 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 get them finished, get them through there. As soon as cat and mouse is done, we're gonna move on to Kalis. 1, 2, 3, 4, and because they're done, there's no risk for us to not ship, because we don't have to worry about finishing. You know, I don't plan to print in China. Obviously, you know, we love our printers. And I'm about to say something that some of you might go, oh, he said that, but Tommy already knows this. I would love to get enough orders that Kablam is not an option for us, right? Not because I don't like Kablam.
You gotta, yeah, to get what you need to make the money in diamond and all that kind of stuff. You've got to print thousands. Yeah, you need to get some big orders, and Kablam's a small. You know, I mean, a couple thousand copies is not
sure, yeah.
But you were talking, you need to do a lot more than that.
Yes, right. Yeah, 2,000 copies. You know, yeah, I'm still kablamming it. You know, I would love to see us once we move into, you know, get 10,000, 8, 9, 10, 12,000 copies ordered. And then that would cause me to find another printer. Will that happen? You know, I don't know. I'm not a prognosticator. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this job. You know, are any still alive after COVID? Yeah, really. I don't know. And yeah, Fruitbat says being in the catalog does not make you legit. I agree with that 100%. Unfortunately, there are still some who believe that. And because we do kind of live and exist in that world, it's just a reality that you know, again, it's a reality that we have, and that's okay. Scheduling is key. I absolutely 100% believe that. I don't know how much you know, but one of the things from Malibu, and it's just one of these emails I printed out. They did an editor's report. This is pretty close to the 93. They did an editorial on-time shipping report, because you know that can kill a book. And he went through all of the editors there at the and I'm not going to throw any of them under the bus, other than to say none of them were all on time except for me. And it said Roland, late books 0, delayed books 0. Everything that I did as an editor was on time always. And that's just something I believe in, something that kind of, you know, makes me do Silverline like we're doing. Yeah, Fruitbat says keep kablamming it. I absolutely 100%
thank you,
agree.
Fruitbat.
Yeah. Stephen, absolutely want to see the cover. Drop it in the comments there. So not just for me, so that everyone else can see it as well. And so the beauty of these, the beauty of doing that too, Stephen, is that we get a lot of people. We don't always get a lot of folks live, but we get a lot of folks listening after the fact. So folks who are coming in will be able to see your cover tomorrow or next week or you know, next month. So I really yacked a lot there, Fruitbat, but that was kind of you asked about the book, so that's kind of it. That's kind of the plan. I am really hoping that I've already kind of sort of pre-talking with Diamond, because I don't know if you noticed in your last books. Let me see if I can pull one out here. What was the last book? What was the last book, guys? Help me out.
The New Divinity?
Divinity 2?
Steam Patriots?
No, yeah, I'm talking about the one before that. What was the book before that?
Teen Beetle?
Here's another thing that this new cord allows me to do. Allows me to go back here.
You're wearing pants, right?
I am wearing pants.
Hey, sit back down. Sit back down. Sit back down.
Let's see here.
Hey, gentlemen, I hate to do this, but I gotta go.
Yeah, it's time for us to call it a night here. Oh, this right here. If you've seen this, right? The crap, I can't think of it. Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. It's all Jeppy, Diamond, right? It's all kind of owned by the same company. So we kind of started moving in that direction. So I don't know. The thing that I realize is that once we start, every month we got to boom, boom, boom. This is something that we're going to do. So we're real close to starting at the solicitation for comic shops. But again, that's one of those things that isn't like, okay, before I take this on, what else? What part of my life do I have to sacrifice in order to take this on? So, yeah. He says, Fruitbat says, Tommy, those inks are dope.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I agree completely. And he says, stay flexible. Absolutely. This is one of the things that you've heard us talk about Malibu before. This is one of the things that I loved about Malibu is that they were agile as a company because they didn't have all that upper weight. And so, yeah. Steven, all you got to do is, for the comments, just hit, actually just drag and drop it over into the comments, your image, or I think it'll let you push, it'll let you click and then upload something. You know what? You're on YouTube. I don't know if that'll work on YouTube or not. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. Curtis says, thanks for the shout out, Roland. Absolutely, Curtis. Shadow Ghost is gonna rock. It's just another one that's cool. All right, guys. Well, let's it's 10 o'clock, so let's go ahead and bring this to a close. Brent, since you're needing to bail, tell folks where they can find you, even though you showed up late.
Sure.
Oh,
I feel
Brent
awful.
knows I love
This
you.
is my contrition face. You can find me on Instagram at brent.vector. And you can find me on my website at brenttlarson.com. And you can find me on Facebook at one of the Brent Larsons that circulate the globe. So
Very cool. Excellent. And Cape Town is coming along nicely as well, right?
yeah. Whoa,
Yep.
that's really sharp. Can't wait to show it to you guys.
Yep. It's exciting to see that.
I want to see that.
Yep, exciting to see that one come along. Tell me, what about you? Where can folks find you online?
Just go look up Thomas Florimonte at all the different places that you would look for people. Florimonte is just like it sounds, FLORIMONTE, and go to infernostudios.com. If you need me, go to Facebook. Mostly I'm on Facebook for the most part. But yeah, check me out. I'm everywhere.
Woohoo!
Yep,
John, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
The best place, Facebook, John Medic. I'm the only one up there. Also, Beta 3 Comics on Facebook.
Excellent. And as a reminder, our streams are sponsored by History Camp, which is going to be happening here around July the 16th, 17th, something like that. I apologize for not having all that information up. Same for Daytona Beach Comic Con, which is in September. Make your plans to go. A bunch of Silverliners are going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Behind the scenes, thank you to
all of us are going to be there, right?
What's
I'll
that?
be there.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be.
All of us here. Yeah, all of us on the stream tonight will be there. So perfect time to bring your signature books. Bring your Silverline signature book to Daytona Beach Comic Con, and you're going to get, if I counted this correctly, you're going to get 10 signatures for that book at Daytona Beach Comic Con.
And think about it; those books aren't worth much now.
Nope.
But once 10 people write on them, it's worth even less.
If you throw me a couple of bucks, I'll fill out some of the other spots too.
Yeah. And behind the scenes, we want to thank you to Carlos and New Armor Media for producing. If you guys, if you're in want or need of a producer for your live stream, look up a New Armor Media. They will take care of you and make sure that you get to where you want to be. Want to thank all you guys on commenting here. Thank you, Fruitbat. Thank you, Stephen Brown. Excuse me. Thank you, Curtis. Let me scroll up, see did I miss anybody. And Quentin, thank you, Quentin. Thank all you guys for commenting.
And Roberta for coming on too.
Oh, and Roberta, yeah, I was reading trying to read the names who are the folks who are chatting on there. Thank you all for participating on the chat and asking us cool questions and making cool comments. Today is Wednesday, so we'll see you. Where's my wristband? No, here it is. We will see you. Don't forget, we got a Sunday stream. We have a Tuesday stream. We have the Wednesday stream. We will be back Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with the Sunday crew. And until then, remember to make mine Silverline. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.